This is your captain speaking with El Jefe, Moses Marquez. Welcome to episode 517. It is time to max and chill. Tonight, an end of an era for me. It is my last episode in this marital home, but it's all good. We got a lot of wrestling to talk about and a lot of beer for the occasion.
Hell yeah, there's a whole lot of talking, that's for sure. So coming up tonight, we predict TNA Genesis as we once again believe in Joe Hendry, and as should you. And we're going to talk about the worst kept secret in all of pro wrestling. Penta has arrived in WWE heat, regardless of the point. And Toni Storm achieves her dream and earns a title shot at the Women's World Champion. Such a dream for this young star to make Max Wrestling your home for all things wrestling. And as you should, go ahead and smash that like button, hit the subscribe button. And for those who appreciate the old-fashioned podcast, head on over to SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever it is you get your podcast. And, of course, for all the links and a whole bunch more, head on over to the beautifully done website, maxwrestlingnet.weebly.com.
I love how we've warmed to this Toni Storm gimmick now. Originally, everybody was like, why the fuck is she on Rampage? But now we get it, and it's funny.
Don't as they used to say, don't hinder the gender. Don't turn on Tony. There you go.
No, if anybody can make a gimmick that we initially think is shit work, it's Toni Storm.
Fucking A. She's so good.
All right, and TikTok has officially been shut down in the States, which means, well, it was the home.
We got till Sunday.
Oh, you got till Sunday. Okay, so maybe
Sunday.
You're going to get one more on Aftermax, but if it doesn't take place on TikTok, we'll let you know. But otherwise, Aftermax will be moving to Max Wrestling's Facebook group. New QR code will be on the screen because Aftermax will be going Facebook Live after TikTok shuts down. And that also means you can get the replays. So, I guess it's kind of good for everybody.
Little advantage.
Yeah. All right, to kick things off, idiots online that don't know a wrist lock from a padlock. This is shit Mark say.
One's got a key, fam.
They hate Japanese wrestlers. They know less than we forget. They don't know who's the bester. They're having a wank to Jim Cornette. Not a single GCSE between them. This is shit Mark says.
So the first two are obviously Penta related, because he made his debut in WWE this past week, and the Bubble fans have just discovered who he is, and the rest of us have known for years who Penta is.
I just don't get how you don't have a minute idea. Okay,
I'll save that one for a second because this one makes more sense. All right, first up, the typical Bubble fan who thinks nobody is famous outside of WWE.
No.
Wrestling News posted that Michael Cole just mentioned some of Penta's accomplishments in TNA, AAA, and Lucha. No mention of AEW, though. But we'll forget that for a second. Then a Biotic Winter with a verification mark. Always a plus for shit Mark say.
You can buy these days, by the way.
Exactly. That's how you know they're fucking ultimate mark. Says, WWE made another star. Tony should pull out his notebook and take notes. No, you see, Penta was famous before WWE. They didn't make him a star. That's why Michael Cole mentions some of his achievements outside of WWE. Because he's already made a name for himself. He's made several names for himself, actually.
How?
Pentagon Jr., Pentagon Dark, Penta El Zero Miedo.
The list goes on and on. Because how and again, I don't get this where it is. It's like I were to say, and again, I'm wearing my kit here. It's as I were to say, you're not a real footballer if you don't play for United. You're not a real, you know what I mean? You're not a real baseball player if you don't play for the Yankees. Like, these guys are really doing it. This guy is a multiple time, I want to say he's like AAA mega champion. I want to say AAA cruiserweight champion. I'm pretty sure they did the tag titles for a bit. Lucha Underground won everything he could there.
TNA, again, he was world champion.
World champion in TNA. He was. I do want to say Lucha Bros were 2-time tag team champions, but I might be wrong in AEW. But the point I'm driving at, At least the one. But the point I'm getting at is outside of the tag team realm with him, he's a main event guy. For those who understand, or should I say watch Lucha Underground, there was a whole season plus dedicated to him. To just Penta. Penta was it. And then it got to the point where they did the Ultimate Lucha or Ultimo Lucha, and it was him and fucking and Vampiro. And some people say that shit will live in infamy. It makes me never want to like light tubes ever. I don't even want to replace them in fucking lights because that's how gnarly it was. But and I hate this shit. They're now a made star. This guy's been on TV for at least 4 years. No, probably 5 years. Closer to 5.
Yeah, he was pretty early in AEW, if not day one. But if WWE are the ones that made him a star, why don't you explain to me how the whole crowd knew his name, his taunts, his catchphrases? They know who Penta is. Don't be ridiculous.
You got. I'll fucking up you. We're talking about all the fans. Let me give you one fan in particular. If he is so not popular, why is an NFL superstar tight end by the name of George Kittle getting so overwhelmed at this guy's debut in WWE? Explain that one to me, fam.
And then keeping in with Penta, Thunder Rosa obviously has worked with Penta, probably a fan of Penta. Congratulated him on his debut. I'm proud my friend achieves his dreams. I really am. And then she said something that I can't understand.
That's fine.
Ultra 93, I'm guessing you're an Ultra, Mark, says, Tony, fire this traitor. These aren't the type of soldiers we need.
Soldiers?
Yeah, that's the first comment. Soldiers, what the fuck?
Yeah, but like that for real? Like soldiers? I thought this was like a wrestling company. I thought we went to work and went home every day. I didn't know we were at literal war. What this guy said, soldiers.
Yeah, it was bad enough he called her a traitor because she supports her friend in a different company. Jeez, how dare you?
Fuck. So then Seth Rollins is a traitor for supporting guys in AEW and supporting dudes in New Japan. For being a fan of Will Ospreay. You remember all those years where this guy was constantly talking about Will Ospreay before he even came to the States? So what the fuck?
How many like this isn't me ragging on AEW, but how many ex-WWE superstars are now in AEW? We got Edge, we got Christian. The list goes on and on and on. I bet Ultra's a fan of these guys. He doesn't think they're traitors to WWE. But yeah, we'll take him in AEW.
Of course not. What? Like,
you're an ultra noob, is what you are.
You're a fucking ultra mark, and that was a perfect way of putting it. Good job with the ultra. Now add mark to it. You fucking jahoob.
All right. I love this one because
oh Lord,
I got 2 tweets from the same guy, and a lot of wrestling fans on the internet will know exactly who he is when I say the name. Raj Giri is a quote-unquote wrestling journalist. I say that very loosely because all he does is spread ridiculously shit takes. Nobody seems to like him.
Are we more of journalists than he is?
Probably. I mean, we can be a little bit biased, but
sure,
it comes from a good place.
I was just gonna say, we're not being paid or influenced. That's just how we feel.
No, yeah, Raj masquerades as a wrestling journalist, but all he really is a super mark with the worst takes you've ever read in your life. And if anybody listening to this is like Raj, who you just proving my point. Raj. So he's got 2 complaints about AEW. The first one is this. The Death Riders storyline is one of the main things that led to me completely stop watching Dynamite. Get the title on Omega with the stip that the Death Riders must disband because this angle has been deaf. Pun intended. I don't think it's been that bad.
Been a bit much, but okay.
Like the name Mox's Murder Crew still would have been a better name, and
way better.
I still trademark that, but it's made them look fucking dangerous. They're just beating the shit out of everybody all the time.
I mean, you could complain. I've called it my own version of the NWO, but I hate to break it to you, the NWO was effective.
Yeah, very, very effective.
So,
Key effective in the late 90s.
hmm.
But like they've been portrayed as the true villains in AEW, and you just want somebody to beat Mox right now. That's exactly what they
which
wanted to achieve.
which I get, but exactly, isn't that the fucking point? Isn't what they're doing making you mad? Isn't that the point? Isn't the heel meant to piss you off? Meant to you got anybody can beat him. Okay, cool. So then so Mox is doing his job. I swear to God, we've said the same thing about like MJF.
Yeah.
It's like, he's just doing his job, right?
Raj goes on too. That Kenny Omega video package was great, but this is a reason why I'm not a fan of the Continental Classic, and I'll give more details with the Ospreay match. But the booking of Okada has taken a lot of the sizzle out of Okada Omega match. Hardcores will still go nuts for when they come face to face, but for non-hardcores, it's Omega facing a guy that hasn't won that many big singles matches in AEW. Okada's not won. Okada's been defending that title for several months now. And okay, they haven't been main event matches, but he's holding a mid-card title and he's adding prestige to it just by being fucking Okada.
There was a time in New Japan when Okada was an Okada. And that's okay. You rebuild, you re-elevate. Yes, I'm just as disgruntled as Raj is with the fact that Okada is not the Okada of old. He's not the fucking world beater. He's not the greatest thing since toasted sliced bread. I get it. I understand it, bro. I understand it. Okay, that's my guy. Okay, if there's anybody who gets the Okada move, it's me. But at the same time, how in what God's way has he truly been de-elevated? Please give me an explanation on how this fella has been fucking de-escalated, de-elevated, whatever the fuck terminology you want to fucking give me here. This cat, he may not be, again, like I said, the world beater of old, but he ain't far from it. The Continental Classic, he lost one match. You know how many times you would lose one match in the G1 Climax? So often. Oh my God. And that's going to build the story to the fucking, that was always the point. That's the point. You build it so you have somebody who's willing to go up against him next. And again, who has he lost to outside of Kyle Fletcher since? Please give me a name. Because it hasn't even been the Lord above. So you can't give me no shit that he's not the guy. He's so the guy, people lose their shit when he says one word.
Bitch.
And it's worked perfectly. So what I feel personally, the only reason why this is losing a little bit of steam for me is because you're making me wait. Because I'm so goddamn ready for it now. I need it now. But then again, this is going to allow the opportunity to continue to build Kenny back up. As we saw last night on Dynamite, we'll get into it later, Kenny is back. For those who didn't see the Gabe Kidd match, your version of Kenny Omega, the version we all fell in love with, that version of Kenny Omega is back. He says he can't do all that same shit. Fucking homie, you're proving me wrong right now. You're proving yourself wrong every day. Every day. So you're going to get that build of Kenny, and then you're going to get a possible another build in being Okada. And then these two guys are going to come up as the greatest thing there's ever been in AEW. And then whoever ends up winning that might go on to be world champion. Or when we finally get to it in July, maybe Okada's beating Mox, or maybe Kenny's beating Mox. And now this has the ultimate strap included in the ultimate feud that is already at this point streamed years for now. You know what I mean? There's people that are still watching the trilogy in New Japan. So I get it, but there's reasons for the madness. So like fucking stop being a goddamn child, Raj.
I think we're gonna have to wait a little bit for Kenny and Okada too, because I think they're aiming for All In Texas.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're gonna make us wait till July, which is the first time I heard it and when I seen it, I was like, you guys suck. Fuck off. You're making me wait too long. But again, the idea of it is that he wants to reestablish the people, the non-us, on
Yeah.
who Kenny Omega is.
First time I saw that plan, I was like, you can fuck off because it should have been at this last year's All In, so I could see it. But
Or it could have been at fucking Wrestle Dynasty. But then
yeah,
again, maybe that would have been a little too soon. But that's what I'm getting at. It's like it has to be on a massive, massive show, which
Yeah.
I get. But I don't.
but of
Again,
course,
then again, I was
Kenny's
also hoping. Yeah, you got to worry about Kenny's health. But then again, I was kind of hoping they were going to fucking do it in LA at Revolution. I was like, yep, there's my ticket.
health. All right, nice and simple. This week they are marks, and that's the shit they say. We
Get the
are
fucking job.
2 weeks. 2 weeks. Well, a lot of TikTokers are going to have to now. We're 2 weeks away from the Royal Rumble, but we have another pay-per-view to predict before we get there, and that is TNA Genesis. And it's not an Impact Plus special. It is a pay-per-view.
Hey,
It takes place this coming weekend, and there is 8 matches.
good and proper.
Pay-per-view predictions.
One for the pre-show, which is Frankie Kazarian versus Leon Slater. I love how Kazarian keeps getting stuck on the pre-show and he's still got that call your shot trophy.
I was just going to ask, doesn't he have that still?
Yeah, so I'm kind of nervous about the main event, but for this one, I think it's pretty easy. Kazarian wins because if he is going to cash that shot in at some point soon, he's going to need that momentum.
Oh, you just set up my finish. But yeah, I'm going to go with Kazarian myself. Why are you going to stop putting him on the pre-show? Damn it.
This was also only added in the last week or so, too.
Oh, well, it's typical TNA shit. But it's all good, you know. Kazarian's going to, like I said, with Kazarian having the call your shot, what's his name? Briefcase, right?
Trophy.
Trophy, whatever the fuck.
It's a contract.
Well, I don't want to jump right to the main, but I have a plan for it. So, Frankie Kazarian, and then I'll get into it.
All right, on to the main card. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 title matches.
Hey, love it.
First one, Ace Austin challenging Moose for the X Division title.
How the fuck did Moose become X Division champion?
I know. I feel like I missed that too.
Isn't there a weight limit for the X Division?
No,
never mind.
That's always been the thing. There's no limits.
All right, forgot about Mojo.
It basically came across a couple weeks ago when Ace Austin was setting his sights on the world title because obviously Chris Bay is on the shelf, and then Moose comes out and he's like, "Well, you're glossing over this title, so why don't you face me for this title instead?" So now we got an X Division title match. Moose defending against Ace Austin, a former X Division champion himself. Like I said, I feel like I missed somewhere where Moose became champion, so I don't think he's had it that long. So I'm gonna go with Moose to retain.
Oh. It's Ace Austin, for crying out. I don't know. Okay, I will always and forever say that anytime I notice, I guess a non-cruiserweight, if you will, non-light heavyweight as X Division champion, always fucking sticks out in my mind. And you know, like I said, the only guy that popped into my mind originally was fucking Samoa Joe, and now we've got a former offensive lineman over here as an X Division champion. I'm like, sure, rock with it. Why not?
I think Abyss had it at one point.
Oh God. Okay. Well, then again, shows you my history in TNA.
I think. I'm pretty sure he did. I'm pretty sure he wrestled Brian Kendrick for it.
That actually would be kind of cool. I kind of want to see that. The thing that I'm driving at with Ace Austin is they love him in this company. They love this kid because he could have signed it anywhere at I think sometime last year was his last contract or whatever. Excuse me. But he's a star, this young kid. The thing is, though, is Moose is also like the face of the company, and how he's down in the X Division is hilarious. But having his gold on him is whatever. I remember when Bobby Lashley had everything because Bobby Lashley was basically TNA, which is fine. Again, it's not a knock. There's a fucking part of me that's dying to just say, give it to Ace Austin because his partner's out for a while and you need something for him to do. And you just don't want him floundering in the singles division, but there's a size discrepancy and it's a massive one. And in all reality, he's the bigger star. So yeah, I'm going to have to go with Moose.
Yeah. He did dominate the world title picture for like all of last year. So, well, until Nemeth won it.
This era is Bobby Lashley.
All right, for the knockouts tag team titles. Spitfire defending against Ash and Heather by Elegance. I'm
Spitfire.
smelling.
The last time we did one of these, they won the belt, or we're still defending them.
I think last time we did an official prediction for TNA, they won the belt, and if they lost, they would have had to disband.
Disband. That's right. Okay.
But I'm smelling a title change because Ash has just re-signed, and she hasn't won shit since her debut last year. So, and now she's got a sidekick. So, give her some gold.
Is it Genesis one of their bigger shows?
Kind of. It's like, well, I mean, it is. It lives up to its namesake. It's the reset button. First pay-per-view of the year. Start from scratch.
Well, then, hey, if we're starting from scratch.
One of my memories from Genesis is Jeff Hardy smoking down on his way down to the ring.
Hello, Jeff. Crazy fucker.
So yeah, title change for me.
I think I'm in the same boat as you.
We'll go with the elegances.
There you go. Elegances. Doesn't exactly roll off the tongue, but I like it.
No, but Anthem, if you do go with it, I want royalties.
Fucking A.
All right, we got a blood feud. Josh Alexander versus Mike Santana in an I Quit match.
This is such an odd pairing.
Yeah, they had a face-to-face a couple weeks ago, which was pretty intense. I'm trying to think who needs to win more.
What? Okay, let's start asking these questions because it is Rumble season. Let's not forget that. When's Josh's contract up?
Ooh.
Do we know?
No, I'm trying to work backwards because I think they extended his contract just after Scott D'Amore left or got fired. So, at best guess, I'd say a couple months.
February 14th.
Okay, less than two.
Valentine's Day is when his contract is up.
So
thank you, Google.
He could like pre-tape and then debut at the Rumble, theoretically.
Theoretically.
Because they pre-tape weeks in advance in TNA.
You know what? Give me Mike Santana. Because I'm telling you, Josh Alexander is out of here. He is. He's at. There's a handful of people in TNA that are likely gone after this event, and he's got to be one of them. He's got to be one of them.
Yeah.
There's no way he's still here. Whether it's the E or AEW, I think he would do really good in the E. But then again, I also think he'd get really lost in the shuffle. But that also goes the same way over there on the other side. So yeah, it's kind of like pick your fucking poison.
I could see him either as a breakout on SmackDown or teaming with Chad Gable on Raw.
See, now that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I want right there. Is give me like a revamped form of fucking American Alpha, but just called the North American Alpha. I don't get
the New North.
There you go, the New North. I like that. That's actually fucking hard.
Yeah, so I'm going to Santana too. I do think Josh Alexander's out of there pretty soon.
Yeah.
And someone who's definitely out of there in the next match, Jordan Grace versus Tessa Blanchard. Even if Jordan Grace wasn't on her way out the door, I would have given it to Tessa anyway, because obviously it's her first match back. And they wanted to come back with an impact. Yeah.
Give him credit.
Give him credit. See how it pays off. See if the fans forgive her, I guess.
Been 4 years, I think, right?
Yeah, a lot of time has passed, and people do change, I guess.
Say that to Marty Scurll.
Shit.
I still love the guy. I do. But like, fuck, bro. I don't think he's ever going to make it back to the States. And this guy didn't even do nothing that wasn't fucking ethical over there.
Yeah, technically it was legal, but you know.
Semantics.
I'm willing to see how it pays off with Tessa, regardless of what happened, like in backstage and stuff. She was a huge asset for TNA during that period where she was feuding with Sami Callihan and everything. And of course, first ever women's world heavyweight champion. So she's got some asterisks attached to her name, but she's still a big name.
I was just gonna say, name me a couple of big stars that don't. because you're gonna get a couple in there that got a few asterisks along their thing.
Yeah,
And
Ric Flair, Windy Dick.
hey, if the biggest one in the game's got some things, we can forgive some of this other shit. But then again, it was years ago. We can move on with life. We'll be fine. Tessa Blanchard is gonna get a push here. Good for her. Jordan Grace, who was in fucking impeccable shape right now, is gonna debut in the Rumble. Was it next week? Or no, not next week.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. So good for her.
Yeah. The only one we don't forgive is Hogan. Fuck Hogan.
Nope. Fuck off.
Okay. A tag team title, the male tag team titles. The Hardys defending against the Rascals. Yeah, I got to give them credit. The Hardys are having fun right now. And I think this is the longest run they've had for a while where neither of them have got injured or been in trouble.
Said it.
So
You said it. Not worth the wood. Knock on wood.
I'd say they're playing it safe, but I think they just had a ladder match.
Yeah.
So
much for the same.
I don't think they're slowing down anytime soon, so I think they're keeping the titles on the Hardys for now. And also, there may still be some dissension between the Rascals.
I don't know if they know how to slow down.
Well, yeah, Jeff definitely doesn't.
That's the God's honest truth. I don't know if they've got the fucking, you know what I mean? They got their gear lever don't got the low, you know what I'm saying? They ain't got first gear in that car, if you know what I'm saying. It's all go and a little bit of show, because good God Almighty, the Hardys haven't stopped since '99.
Yeah,
Fuck,
Jeff doesn't know how to slow down, and Rebby tells Matt when to.
Does that not make you feel old to realize these fuckers have been around for 20 plus years?
Yeah, I've literally watched the Hardys since their WWF debut.
It's incredible. But hey, I'm glad
I used to be Jeff Hardy.
Hey, fucking I'm glad they're having fun. I love it. I'm not gonna get in their way of it. The fucking Rock and Roll Express fucking wrestled well into their 60s. So hey, handle the biz, fam. Handle the biz. Yeah, I think Hardys will retain as well. I think but I for my reasons is, again, new year. You're trying to, as a fresh start, the restart as is. What was their best year or their best couple of years? When the Hardys were running shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When it was fucking Matt and Jeff doing being the best tag team they had, and Jeff being the main event star when he's not fucked up. It was good times. The broken gimmick was massive. So
huge. It saved TNA.
Fucking A.
They literally did shows from Matt's house.
You know what? Their goddamn compound is impressive.
Yeah, I'm very jealous of the Hardy compound. Both homes, actually. Excuse me. Okay, Knockouts Championship. We just saw her actually in the crowd at NXT, so we might even see her in the Rumble. Masha Slamovich defending against Rosemary.
Of all the people, that's the last person I fucking thought that would be in the goddamn crowd. Seriously. Yeah. But hey, if that's what they're gonna do, like I said, the reset button is here.
For whatever reason, there's always a lot more surprises in the women's Rumble, and maybe this is why I always find the women's Rumble more entertaining than the men's.
You know what? That's a damn good. I've always said that the women put on the better match.
Yeah.
What I think it is we are more invested at this point. We're so used to I hate saying it like that. We're so used to the men, but it's the truth. It's so fucking predictable at times. But the women, you don't know. You know what I mean? You don't know when they want to throw you a curveball, when they don't want to throw you a curveball, when they want to introduce some people. Hell, Beer called it last night talking about I forget the homegirl's name, that just the main Bane or whatever the fuck homegirl's name was.
Oh, Megan Rain, right?
Megan Rain that just showed up in AEW last night. So I mean, the women's world of wrestling is hot. So why not make it the bigger part of the Rumble in 2 weeks? I fucking love it.
Yeah. We're probably gonna get some old schoolers like Michelle McCool again. We always do.
Hell yeah.
And
get the fuck out of here.
It'd be an interesting stare down too between Masha and Jordan Grace coming face to face in the Rumble. So I think that was an obvious tease in NXT.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
They do like bringing in the Knockouts champion. They had Jordan Grace, they had Mickey James. Now maybe we'll have Masha too. But as far as this match goes, it's pretty simple for me. Masha's only just won the title. There's no reason to drop it.
I mean, you could make the crazy argument of, oh, well, you could see Masha, but Masha, I'm pretty sure, is under contract for a while in TNA. She's not going to turn around and fucking leave. But again, as you pointed out beautifully, this working relationship, quote unquote, that they've had with TNA for almost a year now has mainly featured the women's champion. Mm-hmm. So why not leave it on her and then get her noticed more so by the crowd rather than trying to steal her from the company and then just losing her in the fray? At least here, she's going to be exposed. She's going to get all the momentum, whatever the hell you need. And then if you decide you want to go with her maybe in a year's time, if that's when her contract is up, then there you go. Pull the trigger. But Masha retains for sure. And maybe that's Jordan's first feud. Maybe. I kind of wouldn't hate it.
Okay, I almost don't want to predict the main events because we got our hopes up at Bound for Glory and TNA shit the bed. So Nick Nemeth defending against Joe Hendry one more time for the world title. You fucked up at Bound for Glory. Don't fuck it up again. Nobody talked about Bound for Glory because you made the wrong call. So put that damn title on Joe Hendry.
And you're not wrong, because there was literally people that are like, well, that whole show meant nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
You put the Hardys won the tag titles. Yeah. How many times have they fucking won them?
I mean, it's like the Briscoes in Ring of Honor. God rest Jay Briscoe. So, let's see here. The thing, okay, so we're talking reset. So let's get crazy for a minute. Let's go fucking well outside the box. Frankie Kazarian has the Call Your Shot trophy.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Hendry's contract is as good as up. He is literally working on handshakes right now, as far as I know. And Nick Nemeth isn't going anywhere. However, Joe Hendry has been on the WWE radar, and from what I'm hearing, this kid's ready to go to like SmackDown, like today. So, and here's how you do it. And you're gonna piss some people off, and it's also gonna be a cool moment at the same time. Joe Hendry beats Nick Nemeth, clean as day, picks the win. Everybody's all fucking excited and happy. And, oh my God, we believe. Frankie Kazarian music hits, just like it was Edge back in the day. Takes the shot, wins it. Then literally giving you that moment, stealing it from you, giving it to you right back when he shows up that following weekend in the Rumble.
Yeah.
So, yes, I say Joe Hendry wins, but he does not walk out TNA champion.
It sucks that he's not going to get a good reign. This is where it pisses me off more that they could have just given him the title at Bound for Glory, had a couple months as champion.
He's for real.
And then you could have done a rematch still. And then Frankie could have cashed in his shot. But no. For whatever reason, you kept the title on Nemeth for Bound for Glory.
Nice.
But I'm pretty much the same. There's a part of me that hopes Frankie doesn't cash in, so Joe Hendry can have at least a couple of weeks. But
right.
As far as the match goes, he's got to beat Nemeth this time. They already fucked up once.
Yeah, I don't want to say worst case scenario. The other route I would take is Joe Hendry wins and then still shows up at the Rumble anyway, but is TNA champion.
That'd be very cool.
Yeah.
It's also, we haven't had the TNA men's champion in a Rumble before.
Oh, that's right. Let's make it happen.
Plus, people already know Joe Hendry in WWE.
Because you believe it.
Everybody fucking knows Joe Hendry because say his name and he appears. Uh-huh. All right, that is all of Genesis predicted, and we will remember to put the predictions up this time because it is an official pay-per-view. And hopefully a lot of you follow TNA, so see how it goes.
Then come guess with us.
Yeah, hopefully they get a better TV deal soon, too.
Come on. I ain't got no access to access.
All right, it's time to do some recaps, so let's get into SmackDown. It's time to recap the Smack. So Paul Heyman opened SmackDown and called out Cody Rhodes to announce to his face that Roman Reigns will enter the Royal Rumble. Pretty soon they're interrupted by Kevin Owens, disgusted at their mutual respect,
Cody is quickly fired up and runs into the crowd to fight Owens. Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga then show up in the ring, and things look bad for Heyman until Jimmy Uso arrives to briefly save the day, but the numbers are just too much. Cody returns to save Jimmy before security finally escort the Bloodline backstage, where LA Knight, of all people, runs Jacob out of the building. Chelsea Green defeated Michin to retain the United States Championship as Piper Niven attacks Michin after the match. Backstage, following the chaos from last week's tag title match, Legado del Fantasma defeat Pretty Deadly. Shinsuke Nakamura's US title defense against LA Knight ends as Knight hits a BFT, but gets utterly assaulted by Jacob and Tama Tonga in retaliation for earlier in the night. Cody and Jimmy come to the aid of Knight and convince Nick Aldis to book a tag team match. Also, as a result of last week's tag team breakdown, the Motor City Machine Guns defeat A-Town Down Under with Skull and Bones to Austin Theory. As a DIY look on backstage, they run into Pretty Deadly and half-heartedly promise them a title match. Tiffany Stratton celebrates her cash-in last week before being interrupted by a pissed-off Nia Jax. As Jax moves in for revenge, Bayley interrupts to make fun of Nia and stake her claim on the championship. Naomi and Bianca then join a schoolyard squabbling, and things quickly turn physical as Tiffany lands a prettiest moonsault ever on all four of them. Nick Aldis appears and books an immediate fatal four-way to determine the number one contender. And Bayley defeats Naomi, Bianca Belair and Nia Jax with a rose plant to Naomi after Bianca accidentally whipped Naomi with her hair while dealing with Candice, and for some reason I can't say Bianca. And in the main event, as Cody Rhodes fights Kevin Owens to the back, Jacob and Tama take advantage and defeat Jimmy Uso. Cody and Owens then spill back into the arena and end up going through a pair of tables to close SmackDown.
I forgot that Raw doesn't really have a time limit anymore, so this went by faster than I thought. It was only a couple of hours. CM Punk opened the show to celebrate his win last week and focus on the Royal Rumble, but is soon interrupted by Seth fucking Rollins. I'm saying fucking, not freaking. Seth vows to stop Punk winning the Rumble by winning it himself. Drew McIntyre then interrupts both of them and says that neither of them stopped Roman Reigns from regaining the Ula Fala because you all need to stop Roman Reigns regaining the power, and you didn't do it.
Yeah, it's
he also plans on winning the Rumble himself, so Drew teases fighting both of them, but shoots the idea down. And then it's later announced backstage that Rollins will face McIntyre one-on-one next week. I expect to see Punk get involved somehow because
has to. I mean,
I was loving the idea of that triple threat.
Yeah, it's probably going to turn into a triple threat, but I did love his little dialogue. He's all, why do I always have to get interrupted by somebody I hate? Why can't it be like Rhea Ripley or something?
Yeah.
And he's got a point. He's got a damn good point.
And I'm getting kind of 2002 Rumble vibes from this year's Rumble because there's a lot of big names in it. Punk, Rollins, McIntyre, Roman. Fuck.
Yeah. Holy shit. You know what? Now that you say it like that, it has been a while since we've had some proper names, some proper main event names in a Rumble.
I think 2002 is the last one I remember where they really marketed it as a star-studded Rumble because there was so many big names in it. You had Triple H, you had Undertaker, you had The Rock. Was The Rock back then?
I would say The Rock, Mankind.
Was The Rock back? I don't think he was, actually. But no, you had Triple H. Yeah, because he was away and then he came back.
Yeah, Scorpion King.
Was he?
Was it Scorpion King or Rundown?
I'm so confused right now. No, wait, he disappeared after Mania. Anyway.
Star-studded is the point.
2002 was a huge Rumble. And this year's looking huge too. Following that segment, Penta made his debut. Huge debut. Everybody loves Penta. And defeats Chad Gable with the Penta driver before addressing the crowd, ushering in the new era of Penta.
Love it.
And WWE just could not wait because they released all of his merch a couple of hours before his debut.
Yeah, they did. DC's like, I don't know if I've ever wanted to buy a mask so much more in my whole life. I'm like, oh yeah, might as well. Fuck it.
What are they, like $75 for the mask?
Yeah, it's a lot.
Jesus.
A lot.
But I guarantee they're going to move some.
Oh, yeah, they will.
Sheamus defeated Ludwig Kaiser before getting in the face of Braun Breaker at ringside. Obviously, we're going to be getting Sheamus and Breaker at some point for the Intercontinental title. Speaking of Intercontinental titles, wrong call.
Yep.
Lyra Valkyria, I love her, but she defeated Dakota Kai to become the first Intercontinental champion. Dakota Kai needed it more.
That's what it is.
I get they're trying to build Lyra as a new star, but Dakota's been there on and off for like 7 years now. She's tore her ACL twice. I hate to say it, but she doesn't have that many years left, probably, in like mainstream matches. So you could
like the Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah. And she's never won a singles title. She's been a tag team champion.
Time to put some singles gold on her, damn it. Stop wasting her.
I also think she had a lot more momentum for her as well. But I think, as it's probably been pointed out, they're building towards Lyra and Becky too when Becky comes back. So
I get it, but still, again, we're talking about making people here. But again, if it means something in the story.
Yeah. It's a shame for Dakota. It's great for Lyra, but yeah. Hopefully Dakota wins it at some point.
Yeah, please.
The other women's champion, Rhea Ripley, is in the ring to celebrate regaining her world championship, looking very smoking this week, I must say, but is interrupted by Nia Jax, who teases being transferred to Raw. I love how they're using the term transfer window now because it's always been a football thing.
I hate it. I hate it. Because 1 minute it's the draft, because now it's American football. And now that the fucking English football, or European football as I'm calling it, is becoming popular in the States. Oh, the transfer window. You guys fuck right off.
Are we going to have a deadline day? I love this.
They overheard, what it was, let's be real here. They overheard Finn and Sheamus talking about fucking, who Spurs should get, who Liverpool should get, or whatever. They heard transfer window, and some nerd went to the fucking back and ran over to Triple H and was like, hey, use the word transfer window. Fuck.
It'll make the Europeans pop.
I'm so mad at that. One fucking saying.
What they really did was they overheard us with the old fantasy league because we had transfer windows.
That's what it is. We're leaked here. We got our Chinese spies already attached to the Skype.
So yeah, Nia, I think was the first one to mention a transfer window, unless somebody mentioned it on SmackDown. I can't remember.
No, it was her.
She teased being transferred to Raw, and then of course Bayley's in the crowd because it's her hometown. Bayley's number one contender for the WWE Women's title, and Nia got into her face. And it's not long before Bayley jumped in the ring, and Jax was sent packing. And in a crazy main event street fight, which it had that Mick Foley moment where Balor was on a stretcher, and then Priest was like, nah, fuck this. We can't send you in the match.
Off the stretcher.
Damian Priest defeats Finn Balor, and crazy street fight. Chaos is what it was.
As it should have been, goddammit, as it should have been.
And thankfully, the feud is now done.
Thank you, Lord.
It's funny, really. We were saying the same thing about another feud with Judgment Day last week with Liv and Rhea. Thank God that one's over too. And
again, when it makes sense to close it, and it makes sense.
Yeah, they dragged out both feuds way too long. Nobody's fault, but the bookers.
Hey, it's all your guys' fault.
Talent did great though. And that is all of Raw. Before we go to a break, I want to introduce something new. So we do Shit Mark Say pretty much every week, but I found this new thing where people literally pretend that kayfabe is alive. And so they put up these complaints as if they believe that what we're seeing is real, essentially, and it's just so fucking funny. So this one is related to Raw, actually.
Kayfabe is back.
Kayfabe is back. And this, I'm gonna pretend that this guy's genuine now. So poor Gary says, Gary, I used to like and respect Damian Priest, but watching him attack Finn Balor while he was on a stretcher with his neck immobilized shocked me. They only put people on stretchers when they are seriously, seriously injured. I mean, Priest has been in sport long enough to know that, right? Yet he still attacked him. That's very, very sick. He could have paralyzed Balor. Fortunately, Finn had enough adrenaline reserves to withstand the attack for a little bit before succumbing to his injuries and Priest's assault. Priest reverted back to being street trash tonight and has lost my respect forever.
You know who's gained my respect? Gary.
Yeah.
I fuck with you, Gary. You all right with me, Gary?
As satire as that is, that's brilliant.
That was brilliant. Oh man, somebody get this guy an article to write.
I hope I can bring you more examples like that because that's set the bar right there.
Brilliant.
Thursday on Max. Predictions, recaps, trivia, and groundbreaking promos, and the occasional rant.
I'm going to say it again. Fucking Netflix.
Fucking Netflix.
You have known for months now that this Jake Paul, Mike Tyson fight was going to happen. You knew. You had more than enough time to get the infrastructure for your website ready to go.
Join us on the Max Wrestling Podcast every Thursday. Exclusively on YouTube and audio on all podcast platforms. Go to maxwrestlingnet.weebly.com.
Welcome back to Max and Chill. This is your captain speaking with the one and only El Jefe. Speak his name and he appears. Make sure you smash that subscribe button on YouTube. Follow us on all social media and podcast platforms. And for all the information that you need, head to maxwrestlingnet.weebly.com.
It's simply just a click away. Still to come last night on Dynamite, but first it's time. Big time beer. Ready to get them 3 points. It's time to cover the NXT round. Take it away, big man.
What's good, everyone? This is Beer. This is your NXT review for the 14th of January 2025. So the show kicks off. We had a recap from a historic New Year's Eve event. We had title changes, an appearance from The Rock, and all sorts of good damn stuff. So Obafemi kicks off the show, and how good does the ruler look with that NXT championship? Talks about its rightful place on the throne. Talks about Destiny, how he won the breakout tournament, how he won the North American title. And now he was the longest reigning NXT North American champion, and now he is the NXT champion. He is interrupted by Tony D'Angelo, the North American champion. Talks to Oba about how he's beat the ruler twice, and says if he beats him again, he will walk out double title Dawn. I like the sound of that. That was pretty sick. To be interrupted by Ridge Holland and confronts Tony after an assault by Ridge at the Christmas edition when Ridge looked like a dumbass dressed like Santa Claus. Oba then was attacked by Eddie Thorpe and hit Oba with a strap. And then we get All Eagle Ethan Page close backstage for a segment with Dwayne and Dante Chen, who I've not seen for ages. He's still there. Stepped up to All Eagle. We do get a match later on tonight, but on the plus side, I like Dante Chen. Guy's underrated for me. And we get the opening match of the night, which sees Stephanie Vaquer going one-on-one with Shotzi Blackheart, who is the undisputed number one contender for Fallon Henley's Women's North American Championship. And we do see the greatest move in wrestling history, what Miss Vaquer does. Yeah, you all know it, you fucking perverts. Shotzi wins. Now, I was shocked. But, on the contrary, it makes sense. Shotzi will face Fallon Henley in 2 weeks and a show in Atlanta, GA. And then we get a backstage segment with Kalani Jordan very disheartened with the rest of the women's locker room to be interrupted by Cora Jade. Cora goes a bit too far and gets a slap across her lovely face. Wasn't a very nice birthday present by Miss Jordan to Miss Jade. And we get a match set up later on between them two beautiful women. Obafemi is then in Ava's office and demands he wants a match with Eddie Thorpe next week. Obafemi goes berserk of Mr. Stone, trying to calm him down, grabs him by his shirt, and puts him against the wall, which I thought was fucking hilarious. I love Obafemi. Ava then gives confirmation the match will take place next week. Ethan Page will face Dante Chen, and before even Dante can take his jacket off, Page attacks Chen. Page wins and then brutally attacks Chen, shattering his ankle after the match with the steel steps, again carrying on his destruction. To the shock, Javon Evans returns, and then Page attacks Evans, leads to Evans again having problem with blood pissing out of his mouth. Javon, I think, will be facing Ethan Page. I keep it for Stand and Deliver. You know what to do. Then we got a surprise appearance from DIY. They're backstage with Sarah Schreiber and have taken an interest in the tag team title main event, and they were featured in the tag team title main event with DIY, with Fraxium and OTM. DIY versus Fraxium. Yes, fucking please. WrestleMania. Make it happen. Apologies there. So next up we have the Meta Girls, Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson facing the Unholy Union to decide the number one contenders for Bianca Belair and Naomi's tag team titles. This was a very good match. The Meta Girls, for me, who are destined for greatness, pick up the win. So they will face Bianca Belair and Naomi, but we're not too sure when just yet. Then we have Kalani Jordan facing Cora Jade after the altercation in the women's locker room. It was an upset. Cora Jade actually won a match on television, which was actually pretty beast. Cora wins with the DDT after Kalani loses her composure. Cora rakes the eyes of Kalani. And after the match, well, before the match, we saw the TNA Knockouts champion, Masha Slamovich, in the crowd with a great pop for her. And then they gave it a little bit of a stare down when Cora was going back to the locker room. They had a little bit of an eye to eye. So I got a feeling after the Genesis pay-per-view, that could be the program. Masha Slamovich against Cora Jade. Fuck it. Main event of the night sees OTM facing Fraxium for the tag team titles. This was a banger match. Fraxium are the best tag team in the world. Don't tell me fucking different, because I'll fucking laugh at you. Fraxium win. I can't remember what their final thing. Some golden ratio. I think that's Axion's finished. The Spanish Fly and then hits the golden ratio for the 1, 2, 3. Absolute classic match. And then we get DIY looking at them, and they were impressed. To close the show, Roxanne Perez addresses a loss to Julia. She even acknowledged that NXT has the best women's division in the world, which she's right. She then also confirms that the NXT even thinks to herself that NXT's women's locker room would struggle without her. To be confronted by Bayley, who was the figure that came out of the white car before Roxanne went to the ring. Roxanne disrespects Bayley, leads to a brawl to end the show. Now, in the States, they didn't show that. But here in the UK, on Netflix, that's the fucking honor that we got. So, hold that. Wasn't the best show. I think the tag title match saved the show. I thought Stephanie and Shotzi was okay. And I thought the Cora and Kalani was okay. I mean, it wasn't a great show. There was no Julia. There was no Trick. So it was a bit of a weak show for me. Anyway. I'm so excited. And I just can't hide it. You know the time. Let's get excited. Cause it is last night. It's time for last night. A dynamite with El Jefe. Partner.
Better intro man in the whole biz, maybe next to this guy. So last night on Dynamite, let's get into it real quick. Before we get into it, pause. I got to do this. The rants are for real these days. If it's not DC, it's me.
When you play some music,
go for it. Fucking handle it. This is fucking this music. All right, so fun music just came in. Let's get to this real fast. I have to get this off my chest. I've been watching Dynamite versus AEW since the debut of AEW, and We're 5 years in. I don't know what it is anymore, but I really feel like we're going through the motions. There's nothing anymore outside of the random returns that's willing to catch anything and catch the diehard viewer off of its rocker. I'm watching each and every week, and it's the same fucking thing. It's the same scenario where this person should win, they don't. This person should do this, it doesn't happen. Good matches. I love good matches. I'm not going to disgruntle against good matches. Never, never, never. But there's also a lot of shit that I'm so sick and fucking tired of seeing. It's not funny. The fucking the 1 minute the New York Minute Chris Jericho bullshit. I'm done. It's so ass. It's so ass. Jeff Jarrett. Dude, the segment was great, and I'll get into it. Don't get me wrong. The segment was great, but what are we doing? What are we doing? Jeff Jarrett wrestled in the AWA in the fucking 80s. And he's got more television time now than Dustin Rhodes, who is fucking a tag team champion in Ring of Honor, who's been in the same era. They worked together in AWA, for fuck's sake. Oh, what are we doing? What the fuck are we doing, bro? It was a lot. But there was some stuff I liked. So the rant's over. The best thing I like and the best thing you should fucking like is the best thing in wrestling that's come back, and that's fucking Kenny goddamn Omega against Brian Cage. Takes up the win, hits him with the one winged angel. Brian Cage has lost hair on top of his head and put it on his face. I love it. That's the best place to, that's the best way to do it. Obviously, after the match, Don Callis' family attacks Kenny because we have to. Diverticulitis, go after his stomach. Will Ospreay makes a save, but that's when Takeshita arrives and turns the numbers back. Takeshita and Fletcher lay out Kenny and Will, and that's just it. So we're looking for a third, and his name might so happen to rhyme with Tabushi. There you go. That's a terrible rhyme, but anyway. Speaking of things that are goddamn terrible, and I'm fucking sick of it. The New York Minute, Chris Jericho and Genesis, the upcoming team with the Death Riders. I don't want it. Take it back. Leave it in New York. I don't want it. Just when the fuck is Fozzy going on tour? Please. I'll buy a ticket if you go on tour.
Probably in the summer.
Get the hell off of my television. Please. This is just dreadful. Almost as bad as my fucking team was yesterday. Anyway, in the ring, Ricochet. This is actually not bad. Ricochet is met by deafening boos, and I mean deafening. It sounds like goddamn Dominic Mysterio is in the ring. Followed by his attack on Swerve last week. But as Swerve's music hits, Prince Nana nails him with a chair before Swerve then arrives, following, just hanging out, all casually strolling out, and follows Ricochet literally through the crowd, out the building, right when the door says exit. He's like, oh, fuck it, we're not getting out of here. So this is going to be an incredible feud. I already really like it. We went from having a thing where Ricochet was just to ha, and everybody hates that. But now he's going to die by Swerve's hands. And you know what? That might save him. So I'm kind of down for it. We're absolutely tortured with a day in the life of a CEO segment. No thanks. Again, another thing that we're wasting television time. Absolutely wasting television time. The writing is on the wall for the Private Party and the Tag Team Championships. The Hurt Syndicate beat Private Party and Mark Briscoe. This match has no reason being as good as it was. MVP has no reason being as good as he is these days. I don't know what's going on. Shelton's put on weight. Bobby Lashley doesn't look like a monster world eater anymore, which, again, this is just weird. But I don't hate it, but it's weird. So
MVP is timeless.
He truly is. And fucking at this point, so is Shelton Benjamin. One guy who's trying to be timeless, but he aged out a good 10 years ago, that's Jeff Jarrett. He comes out and is almost immediately interrupted by MJF. They go back and forth talking about, you'll know how a fucking world champion and a gold medalist tastes. He was talking about his MILF wife. And he goes back and forth, and he was talking shit about MJF's parents, and it was a back and forth shit talk mayhem of old school proportion. And it was old school MJF, and it was old school Jeff Jarrett, and you felt it was like back in the heyday of TNA or even WCW. And again, I didn't hate it, but what the fuck are we doing? What the fuck are we doing? Jeff Jarrett and MJF. I have to continue to repeat it because it still just doesn't compute properly. Jeff Jarrett. Not John Moxley, not a Claudio Castagnoli, not a Wheeler Yuta. I know I'm just giving off the fucking Death Riders, but there's not. You're going to tell me, where's Lance Archer? What the fuck's Lance Archer doing right now? There's guys sitting in the back that would kill for a feud against MJF. And you're giving us Jeff fucking Jarrett. TK is fucking up. Obviously, the biggest zinger of this whole thing was the only reason you're still famous is because of your deceased friend, Owen Hart, which is, to me, was a little bit of a low blow. But then again, it's MJF. What do you expect? The people were still behind him, even though he was ripping Jeff Jarrett a new one. So I guess deep down, we all want to rip Jeff Jarrett a new one. Sounds good with me. Christian Cage, the world's greatest stepdad. I've always hated Christian Cage, but this fucking gimmick. This gimmick where he just looks at you, your dad's dead. I don't know why, but I fucking am in love with it. I just am. I get what it is as I see what everybody else was seeing. That's what it is. I was seeing what everybody else was seeing. Him versus Hook ends in an obvious disqualification as the patriarchy attack Hook as they are set to do a concerto. Taz attempts to intervene with his new bionic hip, and then he realizes he's not the Terminator. That's when we get the surprise return of the Samoan bulldozer. Samoan Joseph saves the day. People went bananas for Samoa Joe, but my only immediate question, and I fucking love that he's back. I do not take this as anything negative outside of this, but you have a main event star, a guy who was a former world champion, and now what are you going to do with him? It's like, again, I love all of this shit. I do. But what is he going to do? What is he going to do? He's going to hang out with Hook? You're going to waste Samoa Joe? He's going to hang out with Hook? It's shit like that where it's like, I love it, but now what? With the re-debut of Megan Bayne, the rookie Toni Storm is victorious in the Casino Gauntlet and will challenge Mariah May for the Women's World Championship at Grand Slam Australia. Mariah May was on commentary. She's even kind of playing the fucking whole how she's a rookie thing. I was like, really? Well, okay, kind of love it. And it's a whole gimmick right now. And you know what? I love it. I love it. The fact that Toni Storm, and again, she's literally taking kayfabe and she's kind of forcing us to believe in it. Like, we know who you are, but okay, you're a rookie. Or, okay, yeah, we know who you are, but yeah, you're a fucking 50s Hollywood star. That's okay. We got it. You know, we're more than willing to fall into the kayfabe for Toni Storm. And I love it. Mariah May's doing it now. Good overall match. So again, another match that had no reason being as good as it was for being just a straight up battle royal. So again, if there's one thing TK does right, he knows how to book people that can work a match, but telling some fucking stories, I don't know. I mean, this is going to tell a good one, but however, this last thing is not a good story for fucking anybody. In the main event, Jon Moxley defeats Powerhouse Hobbs. We already knew that was going to happen. To retain the world championship by ref stoppage after a bulldog choke, after everybody and their fucking mother got involved. Wheeler Yuta killed himself, taking home cuz out for fuck's sake. And then they go to attack him after the fact, just for us to get the save of people we don't give a shit about. We care about FTR, but not in the faction of rated FTR. We don't give a damn. And you bring out Adam Copeland, who is older, slower, and less, I guess, likable than Jon Moxley. Yet he's the guy. He's the guy that's supposed to shut this thing down. He's the guy. The guy that jumped off the top of the cage, knowing good goddamn well he wasn't even flat. He didn't even try to land on Malachi. He said, fuck it, pencil. Like right into the fucking pool. Just what the fuck? And this is what it is. It's the Cope Hope trope. Bar on a soap. I don't fucking know. It's soap on a rope. I just can't.
No hope for Cope.
Perfect. No hope for Cope. Oh my God. It's again, there's something in this show that makes me watch it every week, but at the end of the day, it's getting bad.
Yeah.
It's getting bad.
We've kind of lost the magic a little bit.
A little bit.
And actually, the biggest sparkle that we've got right now is Toni Storm. She's so freaking
Yes.
good at character work.
Fuck yeah, she is, bro. She needs to be in movies.
Well, I mean, she is a movie star.
She would fucking kill. You
If she
remember
was
how
an
we
actual actress, yeah.
Do you remember how fucking how we were like, there's no way John Cena would be a good actor? Imagine
Yeah.
Toni Storm, dude. I'm saying. I'm saying.
I think I gotta say, John Cena's a little more versatile than The Rock.
A little.
The Rock plays The Rock in the jungle.
Have you seen Peacemaker?
Yes.
That's a fucking show,
but every time I think of The Rock and versatile, I'm like, yeah, okay, he's always in the jungle or something. But then he was also the Tooth Fairy. So,
as my wife pointed out, he plays the same character in the same fucking movie 5 times straight. I'm like, yeah, he's the same guy, except in the first one he was chasing them. Now he's the good guy, but it's the same guy.
Whereas
that's where we're watching all the Fast and Furious movies.
John Cena was amazing in Cock Blockers.
Dude,
that was
a fucking guy.
That was the modern day parents version of American Pie, and I fucking loved it.
It was spot on.
But back to AEW, the rematch between Tony and Mariah is going to be great. I can't wait for the pop when Tony flips that switch and is like, I knew all along who I was.
It's gonna be a chuckle and a yeah.
Kind of surprised nobody called the predictable card with Tony winning this match, but like I always say, if it makes sense and it's predictable, it's fine.
Exactly.
Yes, it was probably the most obvious outcome, but it also makes the most sense. That story is right there with Tony and Mariah. And as far as Jeff Jarrett goes, I mean, I've always been the same. Why the fuck is he in AEW? Why is Jeff Jarrett on TV? But this segment was so good.
Oh no, it was great. That's what I'm saying. I'm not bagging the segment. I'm bagging why are we using this fella? Because we could have did this with anybody.
Yeah, this was, like you said, the MJF of old. This was old school MJF at his best with some absolute zingers. But Jeff had a couple of zingers himself, and I think this segment did its job. It kind of made me root for Jeff Jarrett a little bit. I don't want to see him as world champion by any means, but
you don't want TNA all over again.
When Dustin Rhodes was met him backstage and was like, "You're a 12-time world champion," I'm like, "Is he really?" Shit.
He is. Right? I'm like, fuck.
Like, I know he's a former WCW and a TNA world champion, but 12 times?
I want to say he's at least a 4-time WCW champion. At least.
And he won TNA like probably 6 times. So
yeah, 12 sounds about right. And then I know he was AAA Mega Champion for a little bit.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And Global Force.
Oh, no. You weren't supposed to bring that piece of shit up.
I mean, MJF kind of brought it up. Like, the only way you make yourself relevant is to start a new company.
This is true.
But yeah, that was a solid segment. And this is the problem with AEW. There's some good sprinkled in the shit.
There's some good, exactly. There's some marshmallows on top of your shit.
But the Ricochet and Swerve segment was great too, and they finally got it right with Ricochet. He was kind of lost when he debuted, but found his feet now. I love it. Heel Ricochet is good.
He's always going to be good.
And Vengeful Swerve is always fucking good.
Spot on.
He came through that tunnel like fucking Batman.
It was so cool because I was like, bro, it's slow and methodical, and just like he didn't give a fuck. You can run as fast as you can. I'm gonna get you. That was so cool.
Yeah, so a mixed bag for AEW, but the Royal Rumble is fast approaching, and as such, so is Promo Rumble 10. It takes place January 30th, and as much as we're predicting the Royal Rumble, we also have a whole stack of action coming your way from us.
Fuck yeah, it's Promo Rumble 10. Of course we got the action, and it's time to start that action by settling the score. Once and for all, the captain goes one-on-one with the newly named Travesty. And an anything goes promo grudge match that is, well, over 2 years in the making. And the winner will be cited by none other than the best judge in the business, Emir Blackbane Costello, the Kingpin himself.
Master Costello. That's not me sucking up. Cypher looks to complete the full 6 and become Knowledge Champion as he cashes in his Iron Bank contract, but standing in his way is the John Cena of the Trivia Division, and yes, we can see him, the Phoenix.
That's probably the only difference. That is a tall mountain to climb for Cypher, but there's only one way to become Grand Slam champion. Double duty for the captain, however, is another thing you can do here. And as he looks to settle not 1 but 2 scores, this one is a little bit different. Can the captain defeat the travesty, and can he finally win back the thing that he's been craving for almost a year now? The very popular Max Wrestling Television Championship is standing in his way is the hottest newcomer we've had in quite some time, Blade Rodriguez. Will it continue? Will the Blade run its course, or is he just too sharp for the captain?
I'll make sure I wear my stab vest. And I'm not the only one pulling double duty, because Travesty, as he's now known, was chosen as the #1 contender and will challenge Beer for the Max World Championship. This is the first time they have faced each other in almost a year, and this time there's gold on the line. For more information, go to maxwrestlingnet.weebly.com/rumble.
You're listening to Threads, the official theme song for Promo Rumble 10 by Captain's Revenge, taken from the new album Distortions, available everywhere now.
Now to finish things off, we have 2 lists. One's nice, one's not so nice, but we always check them twice. It is time for the bell end board.
God damn it, you guys suck.
A bellend, you're a bellend, mate. Look, bellend 1, bellend 2, big veiny bellend over here.
Huh. Just realizing how many people we've got on these boards is kind of funny. But and the fun aspects of it all, this is kind of how we know who the true bellends of the world are, because they constantly are on the list. And as we turn around, they've getting more and more points. And yes, there may be some new names on there with a few here and a few points there. But these fellas, they got all these big points at the end of the day. They're the true bellends. And TK's getting some points this week because, again, as much as we're getting some marshmallows, I'm still eating shit, fam. Still eating shit. You're making the wrong decisions. You're pushing the wrong people. And we're forced to stick with it. There's nothing we can do. The idea of having all of these lovely partnerships from companies like a TNA and a New Japan and a DDT and a AAA, what happened to them? What's going on? What happened to this being the land of dream matches? Now it's the land of basic wrestling promotion, which again is not a negative thing. But if we've got people hanging out in the back that are a bigger star than a Jeff Jarrett, which is just about every fucking body, why aren't we pushing that fella? If Christopher goddamn Daniels can have a match on Collision against Hangman Adam Page in a death match, why aren't guys in the back getting utilized? I know Darby's gone, but like I said, where's some of the other dudes? If not Powerhouse, where's Wardlow at? You know what I mean? Where's Wardlow at? Where's some of these other fellas at? If Samoa Joe was meant to come back, he can make a save and have a match. I'm just saying that there's other people out there than a Jeff Jarrett to push. Just saying. So for this, because I got a little marshmallows on my shit this week, we're only giving TK 15 points. I was going to give him 30, but then again, you did point out that there is some good. So I will cut him a slacky, but that should put him on top of the board. I want to say about 35 points.
He is on 35, yeah. He's now 10 points above JD from New York.
Hey, not too shabby. And then Corey Graves.
Yes.
Got to give Corey Graves some points. And I get it, though. I do. So before I give out some points, want to, call them out. Like I said, you're going to get names put on this board just for instances, if you will. And I get it. You've been working in this company for so long, and you think you deserve this, and you think you deserve that, and now you're getting demoted back to NXT, and you're like, There's people that are losing jobs left and right, fam. You got a fun job where you get to be a color commentator for a wrestling promotion. And the last time I checked, SmackDown is barely above NXT. Like, you guys are really one nice, fucking 3-headed horse here. Okay. I kind of need all 3 to be entertained. I don't get entertained off of just one or just this one. Kind of need all 3. And to go into the younger, but at the same time, and I should say at times hotter brand than the rest of them. Why are you complaining? Like what? Like again, I understand it. I understand the complaint. I do, but why? But why? You know what I mean? It's like I get it, but you don't have to go on the internet to bitch about it.
No,
Bitch
not
your
to
hot
that
wife.
degree.
Well, no, exactly. You could have just been like, "Oh, great, here we go, back to NXT." And it could have been something, but not to the extent that it was. Because all
Yeah.
you do is you look like a crybaby, bro. You do. You look like a straight up crybaby. And again, as much as I can continue to say, I understand it. I understand how you feel because I wouldn't want to be, in, I guess, his words, demoted. But you're not. They're not sending you to fucking Ohio Valley Wrestling. They're not sending you to go work Evolve. No, you're gonna go work NXT. You're on national television still with a hot fucking brand. What is the harm? Seriously, what is the harm? I don't see it.
No.
Because
also his roots are in NXT. You'd think, I'm coming home, really.
So again,
he got so emotional when he had to leave NXT because he was getting called up. There was literally tears in his eyes. He was crying on his last NXT broadcast before he moved up to Raw.
Now he's like, I can't. So you don't want to go back?
When it's hotter?
Thank you. It's a good brand right now. It's a good brand. It's a lot better than it was when it was the rainbow shit.
Jeez.
So come on, and stop complaining.
Before I go on, how many points we giving Corey?
Let's give him 15 too. I like the 15 today.
All right. And the point I kept making a couple of times this past week, Booker T commentates on NXT. He's a 2-time Hall of Famer. Has he ever complained?
5-time world champion.
Didn't he win 6 in the end?
Did he end up winning one in WWE?
Yeah, King Booker. He won the world title again, so 6-time world champion. So he had to, he couldn't really do a spin Rooney the same way anymore. But 6-time world champion, 2-time Hall of Famer. And he did a little bit of commentary on SmackDown and pay-per-views. Now he's commentating on NXT.
I don't mean to interrupt you. A little bit. Wasn't he the
main he was like a main commentator on SmackDown for a while.
So again, we're talking about Booker T. We're not talking about some jerk off. We're not. I mean, no disrespect to Pat McAfee. We're not talking about a guy who's not in the business. And I love Pat. I'm not saying it like that. I'm trying to get Gorilla Monsoon, fam. You're talking about there's guys that have been fucking well above anywhere you've ever been in the biz and have said, sure, I'll fucking do this commentary shit. No problem. Anywhere. It didn't matter. There's Gorilla Monsoon doing commentary at house shows, fam. At house shows. So, go home, motorboat your beautiful wife, and then go to work on Tuesday and shut the fuck up.
NXT is fun.
Thank you. You tell me you don't want to call it an Obafemi match. I want to call it an Obafemi match.
Shawn fucking Michaels is running NXT.
First off, I'm trying to.
And you're complaining about working there?
I'm trying to hang out with Shawn. We're gonna pull some pranks.
Yeah. Plus, have you seen NXT's women's division? You get to call that every week.
Fucking hell, mate. Good God, there's a desk there.
Oh, lordy, lord.
I'll trade with you, Corey. I promise.
There was another point I was going to make, but it's gone completely out of my head. So let's move on. Any more for the Bell End board? I don't know if I can think. I was going to say Corey actually. So
I want to say Corey finishes off for me. I don't have nothing else. I haven't given a shit what JD has to say, and my 2 rants are out of the way. So.
I'm going to put Jericho on the board because I've been defending this learning tree gimmick. Like it's had its moments. But yeah, this New York Minute sucks. Jericho.
I don't mind the learning tree, but the New York Minute is shit.
Yeah, it sucks. Jericho's not funny anymore. And I never thought I'd say that. He's
the old dad trying to be funny.
Yeah, and people gave DX shit for that in 2006. They're like, they're too old to be doing this toilet humor stuff now. But they were still fucking funny. Jericho
First
has
off,
not attained that level.
If it works, it works. The problem is this ain't working.
No, I love 2006 DX.
Sign me up.
But yeah, this is just, it stinks. It's Gorgonzola cheese. It's Chris Jericho has officially reached go away heat, and it sucks. So let's stick with a 15 points to Jericho.
I don't think we'd. I never thought in my whole life I'd ever say the fucking Jericho go away heat. But hey, it's there. Like I said, when's Fozzy going on tour, man?
All right, now let's be nice and put some points on the other board, which is of course the Bruv board. Bruv.
Bruv, brother.
I'm gonna kick it straight off with the most predictable one. 20 points to Penta. Wait, no. 25. Let's keep the 5s in there. 25 for Penta. Solid debut. Everybody loves him.
Damn good match with Chad Gable too.
Yeah, great match with Chad Gable. Picture fucking perfect Mexican destroyer.
Oh, God. You should have already known that was going to be hit because I already know Gable's like, I got you, bro.
So, yeah, 25 to Penta, and I'm sure his merch is going to fly off the shelves. People are already saying he's the new Rey Mysterio, which I kind of hate that comparison, but I get it. They haven't really had a luchador at Rey Mysterio's level since Rey Mysterio.
Say, it's all about the mass luchador part. That's what it is, which is good. Again, I dig it. Just it does feel weird when they say it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Anybody else? MJF.
MJF.
20 points to MJF because that promo was gold. Segment was gold. That's the MJF we've been missing, and it made me care about Jeff Jarrett. So
I was just gonna say he made me care about it so much that I actually gave a shit about Jeff Jarrett that I'm willing to give that full 10 points for his fucking promo work this week.
Yeah, Jeff Jarrett did good.
Good stuff, Jeff Jarrett. Again, I don't like that they're pushing you, but hey, at least you're making me respect it. That's the fucking point of the end of the game.
And I don't want to put like I said before during the graphic, the Bruv board is already twice as long as the Bellin board, and we're only 3 weeks in, so I don't want to put too many names on it, so I'm going to finish it with Prince Nana. 10 points for just a great chair shot and then going straight into a fucking dance.
Fucking A. Fucking A.
If you don't love Prince Nana, you're not doing it right.
No, you're not doing it right. I'll give a last fiver just to add to the Kenny total because Kenny deserves it. Again, 2 feet of intestine taken out. Yeah. Almost a year on the bench. Having to rework out, rehash, whatever, you fucking name it. And the kid has come back, hasn't missed a beat. Love this.
That now separates the top 2. So Kenny Omega's on 55, Vanessa Hudgens on 50.
Hey, that's fucking top company right there.
And that concludes the Bruv board. And I've just remembered the other thing I was going to say about Corey. Oh, wait, fuck, it's gone again.
Got it again.
It's gone again because I thought of Vanessa Hudgens. Hey. It'll come back to me, I'm sure.
Just like Vanessa Hudgens will one day. Hey-yo!
Hey-yo! All right, thank you for joining us. I hope we rocked you harder than NXT rocked Corey Graves. Before we close this up, let's find out what is in store for the TSK.
TSK is on and cracking. We had said in the last one, the boys have agreed the Wrestle Dynasty, Wrestle Kingdom reviews are going to drop. We're not sure when because the reality is they're already going to be late, so we might make them a little later than they already are. But we do want to get those 2 episodes out. We may even do like a live reactions to it just because it's something new, something we might want to start trying. The other thing, the much anticipated TSK Fixes AEW episode will actually likely be recording this weekend. So I'm going to do our good goddamnedest to get that out before the Rumble hits in 2 weeks' time. So you got to make sure that's happening. And of course, you already know the game. If you're following all the Sun socials, you know everything that's happening. Yes, that includes the Max Football Pod, which will be coming your way at the end of this week. A lot of moves being made. The MLS is heating up as San Diego FC decided to take a good player, a player who's getting good minutes in a top league, and he's dropping all the way down to the MLS. So we'll talk about that. We'll see how everybody feels on that one. And of course, we're going to talk a little of these guys because they're pissing me off. So why not? Let's jump into it when we do. But the only way I to know how all that thing goes is to follow all the fun socials. The evil Twitter machine. We're not calling it X Elon, even though you're in the cabinet. I don't give a damn. Max Wrestling UK, Captain 512, SMR Podnet, Max Football Pod. Check out the website. Yeah, we say it all the time because you should be checking out the website. MaxWrestlingNet.weebly.com. And of course, hit the subscribe button, follow button here. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course, TikTok, even though it may be going away on Sunday. Still give us some love there so you know where to find us in the future. And maybe, just maybe, we'll move to Red Note with our Chinese spy. Nice to meet you, Ling Wao.
I mean, we show up on other platforms that we don't even know about.
Fuck it. Let's go. I like that.
Castbox. What the fuck is Castbox? I don't
What
know,
is
but
that?
Max Wrestling's done it.
It sounds like a mic thing, but I like it.
Cast Bizox. And Mike
There we
Larkin
go.
just popped.
Yeah, you did.
That's it for us this week. We will see you next week for the Promo Rumble 10 Go Home show. Goodbye. Mwah. And good night. Bye.
Adios.
Adios, house.